What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the JT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, JT. Happy Friday to you all. The Steelers are either winning the AFC North or they're coming in second place in this division with Aaron Rodgers. They're not coming in third or last behind the Bengals or the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers have a better overall team than what the Bengals do. And to be honest with you, the Bengals are the most overhyped team in the NFL right now. They're a 7-on-7 squad. They have elite receivers and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But outside of those two positions, they're not better than the Steelers anywhere else. They don't have a better defense than Pittsburgh. They don't have a better offensive line than the Steelers. They don't have a better rushing attack than the Steelers. And the Browns, unless Shedeur Sanders starts and he channels his inner Jaden Daniels, they won't be better than Pittsburgh neither. The AFC North is a two-team race this season between the Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers, with them signing Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not washed. He was playing on a team where quarterbacks' careers go to die. You can't name a single Jets quarterback that has looked relatively decent. You look at how good Sam Darnold played after he left New York. Think about what Brett Favre did, taking the Minnesota Vikings a game shy of the Super Bowl. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was a big reason why things went left, but the Jets are just a dysfunctional franchise. It's hard to win in that organization. The New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers are two completely different organizations. The Steelers have gone 22 years without a single losing season. So stop making it seem as if Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh is a lateral move from him leaving the New York Jets, because it's not. You have two organizations that are in completely different stratospheres. The Steelers continuously win. The Jets continuously lose. It's not the same. Mike Tomlin, if he can make it to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph, a washed Russell Wilson, an old aging regressing Ben Roethlisberger, he can definitely make it to the playoffs once again with a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is still a top 15 quarterback in this league. There are not too many quarterbacks that are still able to throw the football with the amount of arm strength and precision accuracy as what Aaron Rodgers can. Is he the same quarterback that he used to be when he was winning MVPs in Green Bay? No, he's a carcass of his former self, but he's not 2015 Peyton Manning like how he's being made out to be. And Aaron Rodgers is not a cancer. The Jets were a cancer to Aaron Rodgers, if we want to be honest. They fired the coach early during the season, not because Aaron wanted him gone, because they had a Looney Tunes owner that went off the deep end. You can say Aaron Rodgers is a big personality, but Mike Tomlin has made a career winning with nothing but big personalities. Antonio Brown could barely even stick with one team after he got traded away from the Steelers. But yet, Mike Tomlin got a Hall of Fame career out of Antonio Brown. Big Ben was a personality. Let's not act like Big Ben was some kind of model citizen. Le'Veon Bell, Martavis Bryant. Mike Tomlin has done nothing but win with big personalities on his squad. Having Aaron Rodgers will be nothing new to Mike Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers wants to win. If he didn't, he would have played for the Saints or the Giants or any other of the bottom feeders that were in the market for his services. There's a reason why he came to Pittsburgh. He didn't come to Pittsburgh to just steal money away from this team. He came to go out on top. And that doesn't always involve winning a Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers can lead the Steelers to a 12-win campaign where they maybe win the AFC North, they win a playoff game, he can ride off to the sunset on a high note. And I think that the ceiling for the Steelers this year with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback is they can go 12-5, win the AFC North, get out of the first round, be competitive in the divisional round, and that's how good they can be if everything goes right. But even if Aaron Rodgers does regress and Father Time truly has caught up to him to the point where he just isn't even a serviceable starter anymore, Mike Tomlin can still win 9 games with him. This is just what Mike Tomlin does. He doesn't know how to have a losing season. You can talk all you want to about how the Steelers should be tanking. I respect that the Steelers don't want to mail in a towel. Tanking does not work in the NFL. Great organizations that consistently win do not tank. Did the Eagles tank and win the Super Bowl? No, they did not. Have the Buffalo Bills tanked? No, they haven't. Do the Ravens, the Packers, and some of the other consistent winning franchises in the National Football League tank? No. Tanking in the NFL is pussy. If you actually believe that you are a good coach, you believe that you can win with anybody. The Steelers have a defense full of veterans that have yet to taste a playoff win, like Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt. Those guys deserve to win. They don't deserve to be on the team that is intentionally trying to tank when tanking has produced 0 Super Bowls in the NFL. No franchise wins by intentionally trying to throw away a season. That's not what Mike Tomlin believes in. He believes in trying to do the best that he can to put a winning football team on the field, and that's what the Steelers are going to do this year with Aaron Rodgers at the helm at quarterback. This is the best quarterback play that the Steelers are going to get since the retirement of Big Ben almost 5 years ago. They don't need MVP Aaron Rodgers. They don't need the bad man. The Steelers want to run the football, dominate with good defense, and only throw the football when need be. And Aaron Rodgers is capable of being able to do that. He still has nice velocity on his passes. He can't move like how he needs to, but the Steelers' offensive line has been invested into heavily over these last couple of drafts. Zach Frazier was a first-team all-rookie selection. Mason McCormick was also really good. Troy Fontenot didn't even play nothing more but 1 game last year before he had his rookie campaign cut short. Broderick Jones could still be a pretty decent tackle in this league. This is a really good offensive line that the Steelers have. They have a pretty good team around Aaron Rodgers, although you would like to see another receiver added to the mix. But you got Pat Freiermuth, you got DK Metcalf, you got Caleb Johnson, who should be one of the top rookie running backs this year, and the top 10 or better defense. That is good enough for the Steelers to possibly compete for the AFC North. But they're not going to be worse than the Cincinnati Bengals, who are nothing more but a bona fide 7-on-7 team. The Bengals won't make it to the playoffs this year. The Steelers beat the Bengals last year with Russell Wilson. You cannot consistently win in the NFL by relying on your offense to score 30 or more every single game. The Bengals don't even want to pay their best player on defense, nor the player that they invested a first-round pick into to replace him. And you mean to tell me that they're going to finish above the Steelers in the AFC North? I doubt it. They are not a complete football team. They are a 3-man team. The Steelers actually are more than just 3 players. That's why the Steelers are going to be either the second or the best team in the AFC North this year. They will win at least 10 to 12 games, and I guarantee that they win 1 playoff game with Aaron Rodgers on this squad. Time has run out for Anthony Richardson. He doesn't need any more time to prove that he's a bust. What the NFL gets wrong about quarterback development has been exposed by how big of a disaster the Anthony Richardson experiment has been in Indianapolis. What the NFL has to accept is that every quarterback can't be developed. Not everybody is meant to be a franchise quarterback in this league. Trey Lance showed us this a few years ago with the 49ers. Brock Purdy gets a lot of hate for being elevated by Kyle Shanahan's system and the talent that's around him when Trey Lance was in that same exact situation and he didn't pan out. Just because you're a good coach and you give a quarterback a good situation doesn't 100% guarantee that he's going to be successful in this league. It takes more than just having a good coach and a good team for a quarterback to succeed. He has to have the intangibles. He has to be able to throw the football with accuracy, something that Anthony Richardson lacks in both departments. And when he tapped out, that's when I officially waved the white flag with Anthony Richardson. I have faith that Shane Steichen could have developed him based off how well he did calling plays with the Philadelphia Eagles, leading Jalen Hurts to an MVP season. He also was Justin Herbert's offensive coordinator the year he had that standout rookie season. But although Shane Steichen is a really good X's and O's coach, he can't win or develop Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson is simply not an NFL quarterback. And the Colts either have one or two options to go from here with Anthony Richardson. Either they trade him to somebody else, or they change his position to tight end, fullback, defensive end, middle linebacker. He's a freak athlete. He's 6'5", 240 pounds, runs 4.43. I feel he could have a similar career path to a Logan Thomas. When Logan Thomas came into the league, he was a quarterback. He converted to tight end, and he was a pretty solid one. Anthony Richardson, with his athleticism, he'll be better served playing any other position but quarterback because he's not good at it. This is a guy who has had the lowest completion percentage out of any starting quarterback that's entered the NFL since Tim Tebow at 44%. He's going into his third season, and once again, he's battling injuries. He can't stay on the field, and it's hurting his development. And even if he was to stay fully healthy, some guys just aren't good enough to be a franchise quarterback in this league. But for some reason, fans have a hard time comprehending this. They keep trying to convince themselves he needs more time. He needs more time. He needs more time. He's been given enough time. We haven't seen the production to warrant giving him more time. And even if he didn't suffer this shoulder injury, there's a reason why they signed Daniel Jones, because they don't have any more time to waste. Not only are these coaches coaching for their jobs, but they're coaching to provide food on the table for their families. And Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen don't have any more time to waste on waiting for Anthony Richardson to finally reach his potential. That's done. The good grace period for Anthony Richardson is over. Eventually, you get to a point where you need to start seeing results. And when a guy taps out on you in the middle of the game, it's a clear indicator that he doesn't have what it takes to be a long-term starter in this league. You look for leadership out of your quarterback position. You're not getting that in Anthony Richardson. Even though he made a mistake, and he definitely, if he could go back and replay that moment, he would have done things a lot differently. But that moment right there showed us why Anthony Richardson is not franchise quarterback material. You see, Cam Newton and Josh Allen ruined perception when it comes to rookie quarterback prospects in the draft. Everybody thinks because those two guys panned out that any super athletic quarterback with a rocket ship for an arm that runs 4.5, 4.6 can be developed, when that's not true. Some guys just have to be able to perform. Deion Sanders said it best. When you go to the NFL, you're not really getting developed. They put you in a scheme. They teach you your assignments, and you need to go out there and perform. Your development is somewhat on you, because coaches don't have time to wait for guys to reach their potential. For those of you who keep saying Anthony Richardson needs more time, how much longer is it going to take? 2028, when the Indianapolis Colts are on their third head coach? Justin Fields is going into his fifth, sixth season, and he's still living off potential? That's why guys get fired. They wait too long. In life, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And with the Indianapolis Colts, with the cards they have in their hands with Anthony Richardson, it's time to fold them. Give up. Because if you continue to throw him out there, he's going to frustrate the team. You're not going to win a lot of games. And both Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are going to be out of a job because of Anthony Richardson. When Anthony Richardson came out of Florida, we knew that this dude was not NFL quarterback material. We knew that it was going to be a process. But he can't stay healthy. And when he's on the field, he's not showing any improvement. You want to see improvement from your quarterback's first season to their second season. But instead, Anthony Richardson regressed in his second year. And plus, he tapped up on the team. He doesn't need more time. What we see is what we're going to get out of Anthony Richardson. He may be able to hit a splash play here or there, a 70, 80-yard touchdown bomb, but that's not sustainable when it comes to winning in today's NFL. Anthony Richardson exposed what the NFL continues to get wrong about quarterback development, which is every quarterback can't be developed. Some guys just aren't good enough to cut it at this level. I'm not calling Anthony Richardson garbage. I respect every single athlete that gets into the NFL because less than 1% of this population with over 6 billion people on this planet have the right to say they played at the highest level in the NFL. I always have respect for every single person that walks on that field. But we have to be honest. He just doesn't have it. And he never will get it. Either you trade him, maybe somebody else can work with him. He can be a good gadget player for another team in a Taysom Hill kind of role, or you move him to linebacker, tight end, you change his position. Because at this point, there's no more time that Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard have left to wait on a guy who just might not ever look like a serviceable starting quarterback in this league. It's getting expensive as hell to watch the NFL. The average NFL fan will have to spend at least $1,500 this year to watch every game of the regular season. That's according to this tweet from my guy, Dove Kleiman, where he says Amazon Prime to watch the Thursday night games and the one-off Black Friday game is $90. ESPN Plus to watch the Monday night doubleheaders, $104. Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV are over $500. Peacock and Netflix to watch their one-off holiday specials, $13.99, $22.99. That all sums up to a total of $1,500 to keep up with all of the NFL action this year. I don't know about you guys, but me, I don't pay a single dime to watch any of these NFL games. I watch them for free on some of my favorite streaming websites. I'm not going to give those away. I'm not going to snitch because I don't want them to get shut down. But if Sunday Ticket was actually affordable, I will buy it. $500 to watch every single regular season game? Are you high? Are you drunk? I'm not paying that to watch some guys throw a football around for 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon. I love the NFL. I get paid for talking about it, but I'm not about to spend half of $1,000 to watch an NFL game. And that's the thing with the NFL. They're getting too greedy to the expense of the consumer. And some of the older fans out there, they're not that savvy with technology. If you're my grandpa, you don't know about ESPN Plus, Netflix, Peacock. You don't know how to watch the NFL on those platforms. You got to download 6 different apps to watch all of these NFL games. Why not just put all of the games on one platform and make it affordable? It shouldn't cost $500 to be able to watch out-of-market TV games. It's outrageous. And what's even more outrageous is that Sunday Ticket doesn't have a monthly subscription. If you were going to charge me $40, $50 a month for Sunday Ticket, I would pay that price. I don't want to have to be forced to go to these illegal streaming sites to watch these regular season games. But you leave me no choice. when you have these outrageous prices for them. Amazon Prime is okay. Almost everybody on the planet has Amazon Prime. It's the best thing ever. If you want to buy something and you don't feel like getting up and going to the store to get it, they got it on Amazon Prime. And some stuff you'll find on Amazon Prime you'll never find in the store. So if you don't have Amazon Prime, you just got to get it together, man. It's 2025. Everybody should know how to use Amazon Prime. ESPN Plus is the most useless streaming app ever. Unless you're watching some of the FCS games during the college football season or some of those Big 12 ACC games, there is no reason to buy ESPN Plus, especially if I got to watch a Monday night doubleheader. Most of those Monday night doubleheaders are not really that good. Peacock, Netflix. I mean, a lot of people got Netflix, so I can understand. But if I'm an NFL fan like me and I don't use Netflix, why would I pay $23 just to watch 1 or 3 NFL games and then unsubscribe after? That kind of defeats the purpose. Same thing with Peacock. There's no reason to buy it if you're only tuning in for one game. What is the NFL doing with these outrageous prices? I tell you one thing, as long as I'm alive, I don't care how rich I get, I will never pay $500,000 to watch an NFL game. I don't care. You'll have to put a gun to my head and maybe pull the trigger to make me do it. It's just outrageous that you have to spend this amount of money to watch these NFL games. I'm not paying $1,500. I'm going to go right on my favorite apps. I don't use StreamEats because StreamEats has completely fell off. Don't get mad at me, but StreamEats, they can shut that website down. They're worthless. Most of the games, even when they do work, they're buffering in and out. Sometimes I think they make it buffer on purpose to make you click on the pop-up ads so they can get revenue for the site. But if they go ahead and the government shuts StreamEats down, I wouldn't cry about it. There are so many better sites than StreamEats. And if you need some better sites, hit me up on X and Instagram. I got you with the sites that I use that are way better than StreamEats. But I watch all of these games for free because I'm not paying $1,500 to watch all of these games. If the NFL made Sunday Ticket or YouTube TV more affordable, you will have me paying that price because I love the NFL. But a lot of us just aren't willing to pay this much to watch these games. It's just outrageous. Rashod Bateman has had one of the most remarkable career turnarounds in recent memory. He went from being almost a bust to becoming one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. The Ravens just gave him a well-deserved 3-year extension. And Rashod Bateman was not overpaid. He is an elite route runner. He was averaging 16 yards per catch last year, and he's not the Baltimore Ravens wide receiver 3. The Ravens aren't paying for a wide receiver 3. They're paying for a high-end wide receiver 2. Let's not forget that Rashod Bateman was a former first-round pick, and when he was playing at Minnesota, he was an absolute dog. Not only was he good running routes at Minnesota, but he was always winning those contested catch 50-50 matchups consistently. So when he got to the NFL, he had his fair share of struggles with injuries, and he was pretty inconsistent his first 2 years. But in 2024, he had career highs in receptions, touchdowns, and yards. When he's on the field, he's shown the ability to be a difference maker. He's one of the best big play wide receivers that we have in the NFL. And he's a good complementary piece to have alongside of a Zay Flowers. But to say that Rashod Bateman is overpaid is outrageous. It's ludicrous. Because if you take Rashod Bateman off the Baltimore Ravens offense, they're nowhere as explosive as what they are with him on the field. He takes a lot of pressure off of Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. He opens things up for him. Because if you want to double team Zay Flowers, then you're going to open up opportunities for Rashod Bateman to cook you. And DeAndre Hopkins, if this was prime DeAndre Hopkins, like Houston Texans, the first couple of years he was with the Arizona Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins, then yeah, Rashod Bateman would be their wide receiver 3 right now. But DeAndre Hopkins is nowhere close to the player right now as what he was in his prime. You are getting a DeAndre Hopkins that's on the tail end of his career. He's ring chasing at this point. Because if he really was trying to win a ring, he would have been got traded to the Baltimore Ravens or a team that's actually trying to win. He is there to be another third option or even fourth option when you include Mark Andrews and this Ravens offense. He probably won't have more than 500-600 yards at best. And I'm not saying that to dump on DeAndre Hopkins, but we got to be honest. DeAndre Hopkins is not a better receiver than what Rashod Bateman is right now. And Rashod Bateman would be a low-end wide receiver one on at least 5 or 6 NFL teams right now. If you were to put Rashod Bateman on the Las Vegas Raiders, he would be their best wide receiver. Hell, I would say that Rashod Bateman right now is underpaid. If we're being honest, the Ravens didn't overpay him. They actually got a steal. For $12 million a year, he's making less than Deebo Samuel, who looked washed last season. There's a reason why the 49ers shipped him off to Washington. And he's making less than Christian Kirk. I haven't heard Christian Kirk's name since he was with the Arizona Cardinals. Have y'all known that Christian Kirk has spent his last couple of years with the Jacksonville Jaguars? Can you tell me the team that Christian Kirk plays for right now without using Google? Tell me in the comment section. You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. He plays for the Houston Texans. Yeah, I just found that out too. So for Rashod Bateman to be getting paid $12 million a year, it's not an overpay. It's an underpay. Because there are plenty of other teams that will be more than willing to give him at least $15 million a year or more. This is a really good wide receiver. But he gets judged and defined based off the early struggles that he had when he first got into the NFL. There's been some moments when he's had the dropsies, but he also has had a lot of big catches and a lot of big games for the Baltimore Ravens. He's part of the reason why the Ravens have a shot to win it all this year. Because you got a really good Robin paired alongside a really good Batman. Some receivers are just really good sidekicks. Some guys aren't meant to be high-end wide receiver ones. But when they're paired alongside of a receiver that complements their skill set, like what Rashod Bateman currently is in right now with Zay Flowers, then it can be really productive. And I think that the best is yet to come with Rashod Bateman. If he can stay healthy, he's better than the majority of receivers that are making more than him right now. Shedeur Sanders is too good for the Browns to have him practicing with third stringers, guys who more than likely either will get cut or they'll be on the practice squad. Every OTA practice, when they post his numbers from that OTA session, he's throwing 3 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception at the most, and the ball is barely touching the grass. He's the best quarterback on the Browns roster right now. He should not be wasting his time practicing with third stringers when he should be running with the ones, getting meaningful reps. So when he ends up taking his job over from Joe Flacco eventually, he has enough timing and chemistry down where he can come in and dominate. All the Browns are doing is hurting Shedeur Sanders' development by allowing him to miss out on meaningful reps with the starters. Because he eventually will start for Cleveland this year. And there's a high possibility that he may start as soon as week 1 for the Browns. Joe Flacco is nothing more but a bona fide high-level backup at this point in his career. The Browns, if they want to have any shot at making it to the playoffs this year, starting Shedeur gives them the best chance at doing so. You are wasting his time and his talent by continuing to let him practice with third stringers. He's dominating the third string every single practice session. Well, JT, if he's so good, then he's expected to dominate third stringers. Yeah, duh, which is why he needs an increase in competition. So he can get ready for when he actually does take over the starting reins to get somewhat acclimated to the speed of the game. Shedeur isn't getting any development by going up against competition that's making it too easy for him. And that's what the Browns are doing by making him practice against third stringers. There was a practice session when he didn't get any reps with the first string when the other three quarterbacks on the roster did. Dillon Gabriel is not a better quarterback than Shedeur. He has a noodle arm compared to Shedeur, and he's not halfway the athlete that Shedeur Sanders is. Remind you that Shedeur Sanders was the most accurate quarterback in all of college football last year. He transformed Colorado from being a 1-win program when he first arrived there to a 9-win team when he walked out. His jersey didn't get retired just because of nepotism, but he truly was one of the greatest players in the history of that program. Shedeur Sanders is being wasted by the Browns continuing to disrespect him, having him practice and earn his stripes against third stringers. No, he needs to be out there getting reps with the ones, getting ready to take over the reins as the starting quarterback to save this poverty franchise. Shedeur getting passed up by the Browns 4 or 5 times was a blessing for this franchise, because if any team had working eyes, they would have saw that Shedeur was worth a first-round pick in spite of him maybe, screwing over some teams in the interview process. We don't really know what goes on behind closed doors, but from a talent standpoint, Shedeur was the second best quarterback in this draft. Dillon Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart were not better than Shedeur Sanders. And that will be proven when Shedeur finally gets handed over the reins to this Browns offense as the starting quarterback at some point during this season, rather it be early week 1 or late during the season, he will start. And Jimmy Haslam has made a lot of bad decisions as the owner of the Browns, but drafting Shedeur Sanders is the best one that he has ever made, because he finally is going to have a franchise quarterback. They haven't had a quarterback as good as Shedeur Sanders since they kicked Baker Mayfield to the curb in exchange for Diddy Watson. The Browns are making it way too easy for Shedeur Sanders. He needs more competition. He needs to be challenged more. And the only way he's going to improve is by going up against the first string, because that's where he belongs. Where you're drafted does not define your talent level. He was a first-round pick that fell in the draft due to optics. And I get it. The interviews during the draft process are really important. But we're past that now. The Browns have to realize what they have in their hands. They have eventually what will be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and one of the greatest draft day steals in NFL history. Stop wasting Shedeur Sanders' time going up against practice squad players and guys who more than likely will be playing in the UFL. Give him those first team reps so he can get better, so he can prepare himself for what he actually is going to face when he starts this year for the Browns.